Welcome everyone to episode 14 of Cry Havok. This week's guest is Rhonda Leigh Jones. And she has been coming to Joe's Underground for a little bit longer than I have, and probably more consistently, I'll say. She's there just about every single week, Thursdays at 9, but all of you probably knew that. Anyway, let's get to the theme song. Now imagine you are tripping absolute dick on mushrooms. I guess I need to pick it up with my own butthole.
It feels like a magic trick because for some people it's happened.
Why are you asking such deep questions?
Recording. So, what's up?
What's up? I'm
How
glad
you-
to be here.
Yeah. How you been the last few days? You're like the one person that I see for sure, like every single week at Joe's. For sure, I know you'll be there.
Like clockwork. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't help myself. It's a sickness.
Yeah.
I got the comedy bug from somebody. I don't know who did it, but I got it and I can't seem to stop. So
When did you start?
I started the very, very first. I started going to Joe's, I guess, about 2.5 years ago. So that's when I started doing it, I guess, seriously.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of jumped in seriously right from the beginning there. But the first time I ever did it, I was down in Florida.
Okay.
And I went to an actual comedy, there was a comedy club there, and
Yeah.
I got up on stage, and because I knew I wanted to get into comedy, and I was probably the worst comic anybody has ever heard in their life.
I
It was
mean,
bad.
Anybody's first
Yeah,
time is
you're
gonna
not,
be.
you're not gonna start out
Yeah.
perfect.
No, it was bad. It was really bad. People were worried about me because, I had looks of concern on
Was
their
it
faces.
so? It was like that kind of a little bit too honest, kind of.
No, it wasn't honest enough. I went on stage thinking I'm going to be this kind of comic.
Yeah.
And so I tried to do that, and it didn't
What
work.
what kind of comic was
I
that?
thought I was going to be like Steve Martin and
Okay.
just do characters and
Yeah.
act like or like Andy Kaufman or somebody
Yeah.
like that.
Like high
And
energy.
It wasn't even high
Or-
energy. It was like just I was up there like a sad person. And
Yeah.
people were not laughing. I didn't get any laughs at first. I've seen people go on stage and come out strong, like EJ, man. He came out
Right.
strong.
Oh,
and
yeah.
was getting laughs from the beginning. I was getting looks of concern.
Yeah.
I was just, yeah.
There's
I
a
was-
very, very, very thin line
Yes.
between sad and funny,
Mhm.
and it's really difficult. I usually find that you cross over that sad line, and then you go all the way back with something more
Yeah.
regular, relatable. I don't know.
I didn't know that then.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll do something with an imaginary friend. And people thought I was really crazy. So,
Thought
it
you
didn't.
could hear voices and shit.
Yeah, they thought that I was up there being crazy, and I started at Joe's being very experimental, and I'm still very experimental. I like to
Right.
I like to try stuff, but now it seems that I've kind of gotten more of a hang of,
Yeah.
of how not to make people too concerned about me when I'm on stage.
Well, see, and something about comedy is it's almost entirely trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh yeah.
if you're any good, what you're saying on stage has never been said before, and you're just trying it out. And
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you gotta crack a few omelets, I guess.
Yeah, to make an egg.
Yes, to make an
Yes.
egg.
Exactly.
Gotta split it up, form it back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And so much of it is just seeing what happens. And as soon as I find a formula, I find that my formula becomes obsolete almost immediately.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think
Entirely.
I found something, and then, it works for like 1 or 2 sets, and I'm done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, and that's, like, it's kind of a consequence of, like, just, doing it at Joe's all the time. You gotta constantly be, like, changing it up, because all of these people have heard everything, which was an experience that I had in Austin where, I mean, I was only there for a week, so I don't, like, necessarily, like, blame anybody, but everybody was doing their set that they were working on every single night, but getting to see that, like, sped up over the course of a week, where you're just doing stand-up every single night, and then by the end of the week, your 5 minutes that you've been working on all week is, like, pristine and polished and, like...
Jealous.
Yeah, right.
Jealous.
Right.
Yeah.
That's almost the entire reason, like, I want to go there is because there's opportunity. There's, like, places to go and do stuff every single day.
Because I work on something for, like, a month before I even know if there's anything there to continue with.
Right.
You know? And I've gotten where, and I know you probably noticed this, I've gotten where I'm not even going to memorize it when I first take it. I'm just going to read it out a little bit and see what happens, and if it's even worth memorizing.
Yeah.
Because... because one time a week.
One time a week. Art Bar is pretty good. They have good crowds usually. And then I know there are some other comedians trying to get another mic started up here, which, I mean, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
But, so there was no, like, huge life event that got you started in comedy? You just kind of got the bug and...
okay, here's what happened. I started acting because I was tired of being creative by myself. I was an author, and I was tired of sitting in a room by myself and trying to write. I've been a journalist. I've published a few books. That I never really took off without in a direction because it was lonely. I wanted to create with other people, and so I started getting involved in the acting community in Augusta, and then that can be a little bit difficult, and then you find yourself working with lines that you don't necessarily inspire you. And I thought, I'm a good writer, so let me write my own lines. And I thought about stand up again, and it fits with my schedule. It's just
right.
It was there. It was easy to do, and I feel like when I'm on stage, I'm co-creating with the audience. So it's not. Right. Even though it's a little bit ironic because you're up there by yourself, but when things are going well, it doesn't feel lonely. It feels like you're connecting with an entire room full of people. Yeah. And then when you feel that support coming from the other comics as well, when you guys see me doing well, I feel that I feel that good energy coming from you guys. You know, and you're happy for me, and I can see that on your faces
because it's so incredible to watch.
Yeah.
Especially like. When you watch somebody and you finally have a crowd. You have an audience of people that are actually there to see you. They're there to see comedy. Yes. They're into it. They've paid money to be there. They're happy about being there. Yeah. It's a completely different experience.
It's crazy.
When you get to do your comedy like that and then stuff is actually landing. Mm-hmm. You're like, holy shit, I'm a comedian. Mm-hmm. And it's just... even just watching from the sidelines, you just know that feeling is just oh my god. It's like the opposite of, you've seen The Joker, right? The new Joker movie?
Oh, yeah.
Where he tries to go up and do stand-up, and it's so painful. Oh my god.
He's like, sex jokes, they always work.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh my god.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. Although they did have some pretty good stand-up from the other comedian in the movie. I thought it was pretty funny. The car lot bit. Mm-hmm. So what are these books that you published?
Oh gosh,
That-
I actually used to
I had
mention
no
them.
idea.
Yeah.
That might have
I would've
been.
never
Have you been
guessed.
doing Joe's as long as I have? Have we been doing
Pretty
about the
much
same?
around the same
you
time. I
may
think
have
you were a
heard.
little bit before I was, because I think
This may have happened before you came on board, but I used to talk about these books a little bit, and then they're not even humorous. Although there's humor in them because I can't help myself, but it's vampire erotica.
oh my god.
Yeah, and much better than Twilight, if I
How
would say so
did I
myself.
not guess that as well?
I don't know. It was BDSM vampire erotica on top of
That
all
makes
that.
a lot of sense.
There's a lot
course.
going on there, and I used to mention those in my because I had a friend that was. I think this is a funny story. It never really landed in the club, but a friend of mine wanted to read them at some point, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh well, you're not. I had to think about it for a minute, and I was like, well, you're not involved with my job or anything in any kind of way, so here, have them, read them.
Yeah.
He's my boss now.
Oh my god.
So,
So they became your boss later, or
they became
Yeah.
he became my boss
Oh my
later.
God.
I
Of
started
course.
working for a friend of mine.
yeah?
And we've been working together for a couple of years now. We've been working together for about as long as I've been doing Joe's, actually.
Nice.
So every now and then in conversation, I'll allude to these books, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a funny story, and I used to tell that story at Joe's,
Right.
for laughs. And a homeless guy tried to take me home
Oh my
one time
God.
after I had told that story. And
Was he a vampire?
He was not a vampire.
Okay.
He just thought, you write about sex, you're just you're easy, or whatever.
Yeah,
so I
right.
got that kind of response from a lot of
Yeah.
people. So I stopped telling the stories, not really because of that, but because the laughs weren't landing as much as I wanted
Right.
them to. I was learning, I was learning.
There might be something there with the homeless guy part of it too.
Yeah.
Of like adding that part of the story into it, and like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but there's something there.
There's something there. I did, yeah.
Like she was asking for it. Did you read her book?
Something, yeah.
So vampire erotica. That's how many books?
There were three. It was
Three
a
books.
trilogy. It was a trilogy. I wrote a book, and then I wrote a prequel, and then I wrote a sequel. And pretty good books, if I do say so myself.
I'm really bad at coming up with names. What was one of the names of the vampires?
Claudio was the name. Was the
Claudio.
main one. He was actually he has an Italian name, but he was French. And there's a whole story about how he fell in love with an Italian gypsy, and she called him her little Claudio.
Nice.
So
That is very in depth.
there's a lot going on there.
Look,
There's
all
a
the
lot.
people I've been interviewing have their own little projects going on. Skylar's got his like kind of horror podcast that he does.
I
It's like a
love
narrative
it
thing.
So
and,
much.
Like
So much.
yeah.
It's like it's one way of doing art. I don't think is enough to contain everything that's inside of a single person.
For
So
sure.
There's so much that you get involved with.
That's one of the reasons I started the podcast.
Yeah.
Was like I knew because like a lot of times when I'm on stage and I'll start trying to riff or rant on something, and it just ends up coming out like just a bunch of soup, a bunch of word soup, and I'm like, I need somewhere to put this word soup.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a podcast, and I can talk all this, like, crazy, what I think, at least, is interesting nonsense. And then on stage, I can keep it to just the funny.
Just the
And
facts,
then-
man.
yeah.
Just the facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word soup. I feel like I'm doing word soup on stage sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because, sometimes you're up there and something that worked last week, for whatever reason, you're just not doing it
Yeah.
justice this week, or it's just not landing right. And so I find myself having to change up. And I did that this past week. I'm like, this isn't working the way I want it to. Let me just go do swamp bacon.
Yeah,
Let me
right.
do that. That
There's
always works.
sometimes,
I just-
and it's like, you gotta, like, change up the recipe or whatever for the soup. But
Yep.
sometimes there's always that, like, oh, we're gonna throw in some of this chili powder that I got on tech that
Yeah.
I've had forever. I do that too. Like, if I'm really bombing, I'll like address it and then go into a bit that I know usually works at least.
Oh yeah.
And-
Sometimes you just have to change it up, and sometimes just addressing it really, really helps because, like my boss, he really enjoys comedy, and he's always saying, "Failure is funny, man. Failure is funny."
Yeah.
Which I remind him of when I screw up at work. Failure is funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Laugh
I did
about
a
it.
good thing. Yeah. This
Who
is
cares if I didn't reattach the brake lines properly?
Who cares if I rip the entire bumper cover off of
Oh
the
my
shop
God.
vehicle?
How did you get into working on cars and stuff?
Well, I don't work
You-
on cars. I
Okay.
just drive them.
Okay.
I drive them after they're fixed to make sure they are indeed fixed, to make sure nothing falls off.
Gotcha.
And because it's better for me to die than for one of the
Yeah.
customers.
So you're basically a crash test dummy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm the stunt. I tell them I'm the stunt driver.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I go pick up parts and do, and take customers home and that kind of thing. But no, I just my boss. I've known him for quite some time, and I knew him before, and I was looking to change jobs, and he's like, "How about coming to work for us?" And so I
Nice.
did. So
Yeah.
It's
It's a
Fun
good
stuff.
way to get a job. It's like basically nepotism.
it's just yeah.
It really shocked me growing up and becoming an adult about how much it really is who you know.
Well, I find sometimes people are sad about that, and I'm like, go get to know some people.
Get to know some
Get to
people.
know some people.
Yeah.
You
It's
never
not as
know
bad
what,
as it sounds.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Networking is just running your mouth. It's just like doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
It's just connecting with people. So
Yeah.
just go connect with some people and see what comes of it.
And that's exactly what comedy is too. Like nobody yes, if you have like a hour special on HBO or something that's, speaks for itself or whatever, but it's really, getting to know these people that are running these, shows or mics or
Yeah.
whatever and talking to them. They're gonna put their friends in the shows.
Yeah.
So might as well be one of
Go
their
make
friends.
friends.
Yeah, go make
Go
friends.
Make friends, exactly. Or when I was a journalist for a while, and I never had a problem finding stories, and I never had a problem finding someone to talk to because I thought it was fun to bother people.
Yeah.
I would just I was constantly emailing people, and so when they had a story that they need written, they thought about me, and so I got the story, and it
Yeah.
was just like that all the time. I had more stories than I had room for, so it's just about putting yourself out there.
It's about putting yourself out there, bothering people,
Yes.
and making friends.
Yes, bothering people.
Actually
mostly.
got the job at GameStop when I used to work there by bothering my
Yeah.
would-be boss over and over and over again, basically just pestering him to look at my application and give me an
Yeah.
interview. And eventually he did.
You become an earworm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yup. Yeah, I was I was in Austin. Basically every time I talked to somebody, I introduced myself with my full name, Andrew Havok, just so I can get my name out there.
Yeah, you have to.
Just
You
the
have
more
to.
people that know it, the better.
Yeah.
The more people that have heard it, the better.
And I try to make sure my middle name is out there because
Yeah.
Rhonda Jones is there are so many Rhonda Joneses out there.
Plus,
So
Rhonda Leigh Jones has such a cool ring to it.
It does,
Like,
it does.
especially when you're, hosting an open mic and you
Yeah.
get to shout it out like a wrestling announcer.
Rhonda Leigh Jones, yes.
Rhonda Leigh Jones!
Yeah, I never thought about that. I sound like a wrestler. That's good.
Brr, 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 brr.
Maybe I should try that on stage one time. Just do a
The
yeah.
soundboard. You
Yeah.
gotta
go-
plan the soundboard.
Yeah.
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 I want somebody to do the soundboard to my set at some point. 'Cause
Well, I
I
have-
need to...
Yeah.
I think that shit is fucking hysterical to me. I don't know. Maybe
It's
it's just
so
my Tim and
fucking
Eric laden
hilarious.
sense of humor, but
Hey, Keenan.
I just absolutely love a fart noise after a punchline. It's...
Well, I've got actual fart jokes, so you could
Yeah.
totally do that.
I feel like my diarrhea joke would go well with
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. So did your let me ask you a question. Did your comedy is it progressing in a direction that you foresaw when you first started doing comedy, or is
I
it
mean,
surprising you?
it's... I never really had like a plan
Mhm.
for it. And I mean, I knew kind of from the beginning that part of it's write what you know.
Yeah.
And what do I know? Like, I watch a lot of porn, and I like feet. So I knew it was going in that direction for sure. And then I started doing psychedelics a lot, and I'm like, how do I incorporate this shit into, like, all the rest of it? And that's one thing that, like, I've tried a bunch of times with, like, making jokes about being on acid and whatnot, and half the time it just ends up being something that I should have just left for a podcast or figured out how to, do that way. But, I mean, there's a couple of things that I have that hit. I find when you're talking about something as crazy as psychedelics,
Yeah.
it's funnier if you go the, like, sort of stupid, dumb route or whatever, where you, like, make fun of how, like, infinitely stupid it can be, or stupid that you can be while you're on psychedelics. Like, one of the hardest hitting ones that I've done is about how psychedelics, like, sends these, teaches you these life lessons. And the one that I got the last time I was on acid was drink water. Yeah. Like, exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like what your mom would tell you.
Yeah,
like the universe is
exactly.
telling you. I actually had a dream the other night that I wrote a set about doing drugs because I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, okay.
I suck at it. I don't even have to be on a psychedelic. The last time I smoked pot, I couldn't figure out how to get out of the chair. And it was just pot. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
like
That's how
I'm
my
just
mom is.
infinitely
That's
bad
exactly
at
how my
this.
mom
How
Like,
much did you smoke?
Not much,
Not much?
but it just it doesn't
Shit's
really
strong
agree
nowadays.
with it doesn't
Yeah.
agree with my body.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm non-functional. If I'm
I'm really good at taking acid. I found that out.
I've only done that one time, and it was an accident.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it was very
Accident, like
interesting.
you didn't know it was happening, or were you
I didn't know it was
warned?
gonna happen. It was during my party days many years ago, and it was, there might have been some ecstasy involved, and I didn't realize that acid was going to be part of the experience,
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
I figured it out when I was looking at a mirror
Oh,
in the
God.
dark, and
Yeah.
I remember calling someone. I was like, "Come in here."
Yeah.
I'm looking at the mirror and it's not me looking back. So,
Yeah.
but after that, I had a great time. I had a lot of great conversations, mostly with inanimate objects.
Yep.
Yeah, there were faces on everything and spiders everywhere, and I just had a great time. I just, there was dancing.
I
and-
like double dosing. Double dosing like that is fun to me, but
Yeah.
it's gotta be done right. Gotta know like when to drop right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever doing that again.
Yeah, I could never do it unexpectedly.
No.
I've done that twice, and both times it's been almost a trip I couldn't handle. Like almost to that level of like, holy shit, I need to just go somewhere and be monitored for God knows when.
Well, I never felt like I couldn't handle anything that was happening. I just wanted to go to sleep. And the walls were breathing.
Yeah.
And everything was fluttering. And,
It's not gonna let you
and
fall
I,
asleep.
and I
either.
knew, it's like I
Not
knew
gonna
I
go
knew
to
it
sleep.
wasn't real. I knew it wasn't real. I knew what I'd done. But I just thought, with all this activity going on around me, I just can't sleep,
So, was the acid, like, laced into something, or you took it on purpose and just didn't know it was acid, or?
No, it was in something. It was
Okay.
in something else.
Yeah.
And it was in something else that made me dance all night and made me very happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it kicked in about 6 hours later. So it was like a total
6 hours?
About
Holy
6
Yeah,
hours
I'm
later,
about
and
to
I'm
say,
like,
if you were on
oh,
ecstasy for a while, you're
that's
not going to
why.
get that.
Yeah.
That explains why there was an
Candy flipping.
entire room in my friend's stomach that
Yeah.
I was fascinated by.
That's why they call it flipping, like candy flipping and Jedi flipping, because
okay.
you flip on whatever you take
Oh,
last.
see,
like,
I didn't know
It takes a second.
that was a
Once you're
thing.
done with that, then the flip happens.
It's like, yeah, after the dancing was over, then I started seeing stuff. And yeah, it was interesting. I just found it was very interesting. But 24 hours later, I was done. I wanted it to be over. But I was 100 pounds.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
yeah.
that
I was
can be-
tiny
yeah.
in my like
So you get your
days,
money's worth.
days.
You get
Oh,
your money's
yeah.
worth when you're 100 pounds, but you know.
You get your money's worth with acid every time.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I
like,
can imagine.
It lasts 8 hours, like, every time.
Yeah.
It's, like, that's one of the reasons I love it so much is because it's such a cost-effective drug. You get the whole day. And once you're done being high on acid, you don't want to be high anymore.
Yeah.
You're done. You're
tired.
fine. You're tired.
You're tired.
Yeah.
You've been.
What other
Your
drug?
brain is used up.
I mean, like, weed I'll smoke and I'll get tired and just fall asleep, like, instantly. But acid, you get to be high. Everything's, like, moving around.
You're like-
Music sounds amazing.
It's like you're in a Disney movie, man.
Yes.
The coffee
Yeah.
cups are talking to you. They're
Yeah.
dancing. They're
And sure,
Colors
sometimes
are crazy.
sometimes it
Sometimes it
spirals
gets rough.
into darkness. And
I would actually be interested in experiencing that.
it's
I think.
wild. And as
Yeah.
long as you know that it's gonna happen, or you know,
That
like,
it
while
could
it's
happen,
happening,
yeah.
like, hey, this is what it is. I took acid. Let's go for a deep dive for a second. And you just lay back and shut your eyes and...
What does it have to tell me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a reason, like, on the opposite end of the cost versus time spectrum, DMT, which lasts 15 minutes
Yeah, I've heard
and
about
costs
this.
infinitely more than acid.
Mm-hmm.
But also is supposed to feel like an eternity or several eternities. So, like,
A
what
whole
it might even be
lifetime.
better
It's a
because,
whole
like,
fucking lifetime.
you get to live a whole lifetime high as balls, and then you get to come back, and it's only been 15 minutes
Yeah.
here.
I've
So you don't even have to plan out a whole day.
I've had dreams like that lasted for
Oh,
like
yeah.
years or whatever.
Mhm.
And I hear with DMT there's always a blue lady.
Yes,
which
yeah, I've
interests
heard
me.
about
Yeah,
that.
so-
I'm
Um,
interested in what the blue lady has to say.
Yeah, and when I took mushrooms for the first time, I lived an entire extra life.
Oh wow.
I got arrested for doing mushrooms, obviously, and put into jail. Lived in jail for like 60 something years or whatever. Finally got out of jail, and I'm pretty sure I died or killed myself. I can't remember at this point because this was like 6-7 years ago now. And after I died in the trip or whatever, I came back into my actual like 22-year-old body. I was like, holy shit, I have my whole life ahead of me. And that was like my first real experience with psychedelics. I was like, this is game changing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Do a little something and watch a lot of Avengers.
Yeah. Well, see, and when I'm tripping, I don't like watching live action stuff. 'Cause it looks so fake to me
It
when
does.
you're
Oh, wow,
you
really?
see
tripping on
everything.
it.
You
Yeah.
start seeing everything about it, and you just fucking pick it apart, and you're like, "Fuck this!"
That's how I am anyway.
I like music while I'm
Oh.
tripping. Because music, like, it
Mhm.
just...
You
It's-
feel it so much.
Yeah, it's connected
Oh.
so much to the emotions and the senses like that. Where...
I think it would be interesting to do that and then listen to shamanic drumming.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
and
I've
see
heard...
how deep you can
I
go.
like chants. I
Yeah.
like all the weird Hindu chants and
Mhm.
shit. That, oh my god, if I'm just laying in grass or like on a beach or just being in complete nature with just sound, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Do you want to...
Cool.
pour out
Yes.
some of this
Speaking
wine?
of mind-changing substances.
Yes. Alcohol.
Alcohol. My friend Al.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rhonda brought us some boxed wine, as is appropriate.
I'm pouring wine. I'm not peeing.
Ain't no swamp bacon out
Ain't
here.
No swamp bacon out here.
Oh my god. The
Let's see what I'm doing.
I wonder if you should have done that closer to the mic. No, it's fine. Here.
All right. Is there? Let's.
Yeah, I already
pick another
got you a
one.
coaster right
Oh
there. I
no,
got one.
because
Right.
these things drip a little bit.
That's not.
Oh.
That's just the top
Oh,
of the
that's
coaster
just-
canister.
I don't have my glasses on.
There you go.
I can't see shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case it drips a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Well, cheers.
We're gonna have some juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mommy's medicine.
um.
Yum.
It is pretty good.
It's not too bad. I like it.
I'm all about some cost-effective wines as well. My favorite wine is Apothic. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to drink Apothic a good bit.
what is your go-to? Oh, I guess is that Nighthawk your go-to, or is
It's a go-to for my box wine. I like. There's a wine that I like a lot, which is like a $10 to $12 bottle of wine called Il Bastardo.
okay?
The bastard in Italian.
Right.
So, that's a good Sangiovese, and you know, that's usually my range. You know, when I'm buying an actual bottle of wine. So
Yeah.
I get the cheapo stuff.
I've heard that above like $15 a bottle, it's not even really that. Like, you have to go up to like $120 a bottle before it's really that much better.
No, $50 bottles are good.
Really?
There's a big difference
Okay.
between like a $25 bottle and a $50 bottle.
Right.
But it can be hit or miss. You know, you
Mhm.
could get a $50 bottle that doesn't taste.
Did you ever hear about that dude that went around and sold like cheap wines as really expensive wines or whatever, and like fooled the entire wine tasting community for the
that's
longest
funny.
time until
I
they
remember
figured
that
out
shit.
that some of the bottles he was selling came from like a year that they didn't make that wine or whatever, and
That's funny.
yeah, like he was that good of a con artist until then.
It's all sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's all sales, and what you think
Yep.
you're getting.
Make that dollar.
You ever watch White Collar?
Mm-mm.
You should watch White Collar. You would.
What is it?
It's this guy is a art like thief / counterfeiter. So he does all sorts of stuff like counterfeiting the wine bottles and paintings and stuff. But it's every woman that has ever watched it that I've seen has just gone completely nuts over the main character, who I will say is
Yeah. Fucking
massively
gorgeous.
attractive.
How
Gorgeous.
attractive on the Loki scale?
Up there.
He's
Up there.
like,
like
an 8. Like a
An 8 on the
strong
Loki
8.
scale.
Yep.
he's like
Uh-oh.
Tom Hiddleston and what's the guy's name who plays Superman now?
Oh no!
Oh,
No,
I'm
you just
so
ruined
bad
it.
with names.
Stick a Superman in there, that kind of ruins it.
There we go.
No, I would say he's probably boringly attractive.
Boringly attractive.
Boringly.
Oh,
attractive.
you gotta see him in action.
That's where the art thief part
You
comes
gotta
in.
see him in action.
I see him in action,
Oh my
okay.
god.
It's very suave.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert for everybody. We just gonna talk about Loki now because that shit. I just thought about that, and I haven't like discussed the entire show on this
For a
podcast
bit.
yet, and I
Ooh,
can't
we
think of
watched
anybody
it,
better to do
yeah.
that with.
Loki.
So,
The wrong Loki, though. It's the wrong. It's a variant.
which, what?
The TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think? I'm trying to think. What were your like initial thoughts when the series started? Were you like hooked from episode 1? Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see that, and
Oh, it took me like 2. Took me a
No,
good 2.
I like the weird stuff. I watched WandaVision.
right.
And I really
loved
liked how
WandaVision.
weird. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked how weird that was and how experimental that was, and because I like reality bending stuff.
Right.
And Loki
Yeah.
is obviously a favorite character of mine.
Yeah.
So I thought, how are they going to do this? I was very curious about what was going to happen. And the fact that this is like a different version of him,
Right.
from back. And I read a little bit about some stuff that Tom Hiddleston had said about getting the opportunity to play Loki in this way.
Right.
Where he had been through things with Loki, going through his character arc, that now he had to kind of undo a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this Loki hasn't been through all that stuff. He hasn't been through
That's
the growth.
insane. Yeah.
So he's...
And then getting shown his own death is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. But I like that they're doing this with this particular character because Loki went from being a full-fledged villain to being an anti-hero to being, I mean, he's shown, he's shown a lot more personal growth than, most non-villains out there. So it makes him a very interesting character. And the fact that we're backtracking with this version of him, with this variant, we're going to show, we're almost going to do it again, I'm assuming.
Right, and that's the thing about Endgame, too, is Endgame was so, epic and huge that, you either pretty much start a new character with a whole new arc or something, or you go back in time before Endgame and you bring people back.
Or you just make it all an illusion.
Or you just make it all an illusion. Or you just split the timeline into infinite other timelines, and all of a sudden they have an excuse for everything. Which
Absolutely everything.
I mean, I saw coming since Endgame. When they decided to do time travel in Endgame, I was like, oh, this is a whole can of worms.
There's no excuse for President Loki.
No excuse?
No excuse for that. I saw that episode.
I like all the variants.
He creeps me out. I saw him, I was like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was the way he was looking down into the hole or what. I was just like, no, this is going to give me nightmares. I can't do this. And then he did the whole, getting his hand bitten off, and I was like, now we're going to the Captain Hook thing. I can't handle this. I don't like that variant. So I can't do this.
Loki Gator.
It's
is that
adorable.
Sexy or PTSD terrifying?
No, it's cute. He's a cute little animal because he's tiny.
That's how I feel too.
He's like a little
tiny little gator. Yeah.
He's like a tiny little iguana. I'm like, oh, he's got some horns on. I would make a kiddie pool for him in my backyard. That would, that's not sexy.
Little oasis.
Just.
I'm not pansexual.
Don't sneak up on me while I'm taking a piss.
No.
I'm pansexual, pretty strict too.
But, Loki, I don't know. He can change form, so, I might have to make room for that in my heart.
Yeah.
I might have to.
Put Bad Dragon out of business.
Yeah. I don't know who Bad Dragon is.
You're right.
They make a bunch
Rhonda.
of different
This is the
shaped
tentacles.
dildos.
Oh, tentacles.
Tentacles,
yes.
Dragon penises, horse penises.
Wolf penises.
Wow.
A whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
There's already room for that sort of thing in my life, because I've got Mr. Purple, and he's you guys know about Mr. Purple, and he's a little bit different.
All reliable.
Reliable, yeah. He's very reliable. He was well put together. He's well put together, so.
Can you describe Mr. Purple? Is it just a standard?
It's not standard.
Straight. It's like a rabbit thing with the.
It's a rabbit thing.
The tickler.
But the shape of the basic instrument is very alien, though. It's not normal.
Right.
There's nothing normal about it.
Yeah.
And no, it's interesting. I find that very interesting.
It's because human dicks suck.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, they are just one shape, so
but
yeah.
I grew up as a kid. I grew up on Star Trek, so it's like the thought of aliens and different types of people and diversity and everything.
Right.
I grew up with that, so it's interesting to me, that something would be different than what you're used to. So, I'm funny. I find myself looking at Brittany.
This is back to the tentacle
part of the
conversation.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about writing more books about Star Trek aliens?
Tentacle one, yes, do it.
I wrote some short stories about tentacles at one point.
Nice.
I did do that, but no, I have a hard time sitting and writing a lot of words at this point. It's like I don't have the attention span for it.
Right.
I find it difficult enough to learn my lines for comedy.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm sitting there going, oh God.
Yeah.
So
let me
much to
write it
think
down
about.
7 times, like the article says.
Yeah.
I hate learning my lines.
See, and I don't know where I stand on all that, because I know it needs to be practice. You need to get it right. You need to say the right words in the right order, but also it needs to feel like it's the first time you've ever said it, so that people laugh at it and they don't think that this is just a practice rehearsed thing, even though if you really like comedy, you would know it's a practiced rehearsed thing.
Exactly. I think I can get to a point where if I know the lines well enough, then I can make it seem like I'm saying it for the first time, and that's where the irony comes in.
Right.
But I don't need to be married to the lines, because you need to be able to shake it up a little bit and say it out of order. I try doing that sometimes. Actually, I'll get on stage and I'll be like, I'm going to say this one out of order.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it happens organically, because I won't have practiced enough. That's what happened at the Pet show.
Pet Echoes.
Pet Echoes.
Pet Echoes. That's what I figured
Show.
out.
I was like, it's like I knew the lines just well enough that night to say them out of order a little bit, and it worked. You know, it felt great. You know, while I was doing it. So, and there's a danger in over preparing.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I mean, where is that line? I don't know if I'll ever figure that out.
Yeah, that show I had way too much coffee beforehand, and it was nice and warm in there.
I loved his set. I was like, I liked the super hype, oh my god, I gotta get all this shit out, and it was just one after another, like bam, 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 and I was like, damn, I've never seen him drill that hard, like drill them all out. It was fucking awesome.
It was a little bit of a hard evening though, because the audience wasn't giving very much. The audience wasn't giving very much. So I found out. I think that's probably.
They also had to wait like an hour for the show to start, which was.
So they were sleepy. We were sleepy.
Yeah, it was late.
It was
a late night show.
I was dehydrated at that point.
Oh, big time! We were drinking so much coffee.
But I felt like my goal was to keep the energy just above where the audience was. I didn't want to go too energetic because I didn't want to leave them behind, but I wanted to be above them a little bit, you know, to kind of pull them along. And fortunately, I had this one girl who just about peed her pants while I was on. Yeah, she was losing it.
Sometimes it's just about that one audience member or that one table.
And I was thinking, I was like, she's never heard this stuff before.
That one Bridget.
She's so she was just like, and I was like, I'll give you a chance to catch your breath, honey.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was like talking down to her, and I wasn't trying to talk down to her, but I just felt like I needed to give her a break because she was gonna bust a rib or something.
Right.
Which made me feel good, you know. I was like, okay, this is.
Every time.
I don't know if she's laughing at me or with me, but I love it. Just laugh.
Either way, either way.
That's why I'm up here.
Yep.
You're up there for the laughs. But I felt good about that night because even if there wasn't a lot of laughter, I had their eyes. As long as I had their faces on me, I feel like I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Even if they're not necessarily laughing. Because I know I'm up there. And I was like, you guys, I've seen your stuff so often. It's like I don't necessarily laugh, even though I think it's funny.
Because it's...
You know, but I'm still there. I'm still with you.
Yeah.
So, I have to keep that in mind, you know, if somebody's not necessarily laughing.
That's one thing I've always said about, like, musical comedy. The thing about that is, like, I could listen to a Bo Burnham song over and over and over again, and it's still funny every single time. Might not be as funny as the first time, but it's still, like, it holds up a lot better than, you know, a regular stand-up special.
Yeah.
That's, you know, if I was talented at all at music, I would probably go for that. But
oh, gosh, yeah.
I have been thinking of, like, song parodies, but I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, I have two.
I died last night. He's got one really good one, and he did it last night, and I was dying while I was driving. It was so bad.
I'm working on one that I don't have it quite nailed down yet, but it starts off really well. And my roommates and I had this thing called Front Porch Karens that we're doing.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
Where we're just, and we have different Karen names. Like I'm Sharon Karen. Dean is Darren Karen. And then Lauren is Donna Karen. So we have all these like stupid names. And I've been writing parody songs, and I've got this one that's like based on that song, the Milkshake song.
My milkshake
My SUV is bigger than yours. Come ride it. It's bigger than yours.
Oh my God.
Just to be like, because I actually do. I drive a Karen car. It's so sad. I drive you saw it.
Right.
It's like it's taking up half your block right now.
Yeah.
But that's fun.
The one I just thought of, and I don't know if I'm even allowed to call this a parody, because have you heard the song "Accidentally in Love" by the Counting Crows?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I
man.
might have, but
Accidentally in love. It was on the Shrek soundtrack.
Okay.
But changed love, the word love, to the word butt. So it's accidentally in your butt.
Okay, this is a theme I see coming up with you.
Yeah.
So
So she said,
fucking
"What's the
well."
problem, baby? What's the problem? I don't know. Well, maybe it's your butt."
That makes me think of it. Was it Eddie Murphy? He had a song that if I hear it today, it cracks me up. I can't even breathe. But it's called "Put the Boogie in Your Butt."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Put the boogie in your butt, and then he just puts all sorts of things, and put the refrigerator in your butt.
Oh my
and
god.
Just that line, it cracks me up. I'm like, I can't handle this. I mean, how did you? That's such a bit of comic genius. You're just
Right.
There's no reason that
And
should
it's
be
just
funny.
right, yeah. It's
There's
just
no
a
reason
butt
it should be
joke.
funny.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like my one thing. I had to practice this one line so much, and people don't laugh at it like I do, but it's the one where I'm doing my Loki bit, and Loki, the horns are a problem. I
right,
keep getting caught in the fan,
right.
and I had to practice not laughing. But nobody laughs at it like I do. I'm like, nobody thinks it's as funny as I think, but that's a funny image to me. It's a
Definitely,
hilarious image.
especially the first time I heard it, I cracked up.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah, because you don't
Yeah.
expect.
'Cause you
That's
see
not what
it-
you're
you see it the
expecting
first
to be
time,
said.
you're like,
you know,
oh. Okay,
I've got to figure out how to end that bit.
well, I can tell you the image that comes to my mind when you say those words is the ceiling fan still on.
Yep.
You are pegging Loki from underneath.
Yeah.
Like you're laying down with the strap on and he's sitting on it.
Oh,
and then
funny.
he gets his horns in the ceiling fan and it just spins him around on the strap on. So,
The image I get is, I don't even know why it's funny. It's like of my ceiling fan being destroyed and him with a really surprised look on his face. Because it's all very, it's very regal, when he has the horns on, he's very regal. He looks like the king he wants to be,
mhm.
But then there's the whole nudity thing, and then there's the ceiling fan just going haywire and just everybody being surprised and nobody ruling Asgard at that point. So yeah, I just noticed you have a stripper pole in here.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was also actually danced on it for Lamar's podcast that he recorded here as well.
Part of the
fun.
The
Patreon.
Get Around
Patreon.
podcast.
Awesome.
Which he actually uploaded the first episode of without telling me. He finally sent me the link today, so I linked it. His episode comes out tomorrow to
fun.
date the recording of this. But yeah, his first episode was with me and Skylar in this room, and we recorded. I think it's like an hour long, so
Okay.
it's pretty good.
Cool
I haven't
beans.
listened to the whole thing yet, but from what I remember, it was fun.
Cool beans. I feel like there's a lot of pressure for comics to be funny when they're not on stage.
Oh,
Do you
Like
feel
I
that?
said-
Do
a
you ever
little
feel
bit.
that?
It's
Yes,
always gonna be
definitely.
I don't feel like I'm that funny when I'm non. I mean, like some stuff will happen. Like
Sometimes.
if I'm in a rant,
Yeah.
situation, or if I have a customer in a car, sometimes.
If I am ever funny off stage, I write it down and put it on stage.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I do too.
Yep.
I do too. I've got stuff that happens, and or I'll be. Usually, I'm in an emotional situation. I'm ranting about something, and I'm like, "Oh wait, that's really funny."
yeah,
I had like a situation where this never became a thing, but I think I took some notes on my computer one day. But like somebody had asked me if I was okay at work. And I work with all guys, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I had just started my period. I don't know why I'm getting really low.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and I went on this whole rant, and I'm like, that's freaking funny, like
Yeah.
I feel like there's a moose tap dancing on my uterus or something. I went off on this guy, and then he left.
I feel like
Ask me again, bitch. Ask me. Go. Try me.
I feel like you
No,
should
I'm
just have a
not.
recording device on you at all times during your period. That way,
I think
That's
so.
probably-
I think so.
not only like the most volatile time, but like the funniest. Like
Yeah.
obviously, months.
Well, that's like once every 6 months at this point.
It just like slows down. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
Just-
I'm
There's a lot of
older.
stuff I know about periods.
It slows
but that's not
down
one of them.
before,
And, like,
yeah, before it stops, and then you get lulled into this feeling of false security, and then you don't prepare, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the day on a Wednesday, and
Yeah.
you know, and then hi, and yeah.
So it's like twice a year.
It's sometimes, and then sometimes it's like twice a month. It's just like I went for an entire. Now we're talking about periods. I went for an entire year without having one time, and then
Yeah.
I feel like going to work in an all male environment made it start again. Because
Oh,
I've never
wow,
had a
okay.
child. I've never
It's
had a
possible.
child.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
was
think
like,
my
I
body
smell
was going,
pheromones.
This is our last chance.
Yeah.
This is our last
Testosterone.
chance. And yeah, I get
Breathe.
when they're not coming around very often, I will get morning sickness with it, and just it's terrible.
Oh, geez.
It's terrible. So you have
Yep.
That's
Yep.
yeah.
When I was young, it was
It
easy
sucks.
breezy. It's
It
just I knew when it was
sucks.
coming. It was fine. Whatever. I can deal with it. I just want to kill people 1 week a month. That's fine. I can handle that. But now it's just like, when is it just going to stop?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm middle aged. I'm having hot flashes.
Stop. Yeah, stop.
I was
I
about
don't
to
think you
say-
should have hot flashes and periods in the same lifetime.
That seems
Yeah.
like a jip.
Yeah.
That seems.
It's not right.
It
It's not
sucks.
right.
That's the biggest thing with like
Being a
hormones.
girl, I
Fuck
think that
all
guys
that
should have
shit.
periods. I
Mhm.
want for every guy to just
Feel
just
that
take a year
pain.
out of their life.
Just feel that pain.
Well, yeah, they want.
Where
I think they really
everything
secretly
sucks.
want to experience
Everything
that.
sucks.
I think they all secretly want to experience.
Why do you think
that.
Lil Nas did that thing where he made himself look pregnant? Like, come
Yeah.
on. Sometimes.
Yeah,
It's not like I haven't thought about it. My
Yes,
mom
Cindy.
is a midwife, so like my entire life growing up, I've gotten used to the female reproductive system.
I'm not used to it yet. I need to have that where I get used to it at some point because.
Well, if it's all over the place, like that's gonna take a bit to get used to.
I'm not used to the idea that I could theoretically push an entire human being.
Yeah, that fucking
Out
freaks
of
me
my
out.
body.
It
I'm
freaks me out. I'm just like, I've seen it. I know like the science
I've seen
behind
it.
it. I
I've
know
had
everything
animals.
about it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
I've had animals. I've had to
It
deal
doesn't
with
seem
that
right
shit. Like,
somehow. It doesn't seem
it's
right. I'm not down with that.
insane to me.
No,
because
it doesn't.
it's Very,
The math doesn't seem to add up.
very,
I don't see how we can get from
crazy.
this to this. And my dad, I remember being a teenager. My dad was very old fashioned. He was born in 1922, by the way, which is way too, it's way too soon. But he was always very concerned that I might get pregnant. And I'm like, my understanding of pregnancy and having was that at the end of it, you push the person out of your body. Who wants to sign up for that? I'm not.
I don't. Yeah.
Like, have you met me, Dad?
wanna-
Have you
Nope.
met me? I don't even like sharing
If
my
I ever
stories.
See.
really, really, really want kids, like I will adopt
Yeah.
kids. I will adopt 2 kids.
I don't
will
wanna-
foster them. Sure, cool, whatever. I'll probably end up adopting them if I end up
Yeah.
fostering. 'Cause
That's a
I'm
great.
just
I think
that
that's a
kind of
great
person.
solution. I don't
Yeah.
want to share my body with a proto-human for 9 months.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a good
I'm
good
against-
solution.
I do think it would be like a crazy cool experience, just because I know like your whole body literally transforms.
your
to
hair gets really
support a
good.
Whole
I
yeah,
think your hair
your
gets really
whole
good.
body
Yeah.
transforms just to support an entire other being.
Your
Like, you are
symbiote.
literally creating
You
like
have a symbiote.
Like
It's not even a
parasite.
symbiote because
Yeah,
they
a
do
parasite.
nothing. It's
You are
a
creating a
parasite because it does
parasite.
nothing for you.
you are creating a parasite, and then it is just taking everything that you worked so hard for and going.
And just taking it away.
Bye! Bleh. Now you get to
Just
look at
taking
me
it
for
away.
18 years.
18, no, 40. I've seen this.
Yeah,
40.
40,
More
it's-
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they look like the little things on Alien, you know?
Yep.
They do. Yeah.
And they-
Yep.
I'm like,
Normalize
larva.
telling people their babies are fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for all the people I know,
cute.
of course, all your
No.
babies are adorable.
Now, human
But-
beings
Yep.
need to be made in the lab. I really think that would be. I think we have the technology. I think
Oh,
that's
we
what
do.
we should be doing.
We
now.
do.
We could make better
You can make
people in a
little test
lab
tube
than you
babies.
can in
Exactly.
You can already
They're
tweak
making
the
designer
genome.
babies already.
You can already
Yeah.
tweak the genome. You know, why aren't we doing this? We can clone things. We can make. Apparently there are sex robots out there that I didn't know about. Nobody could send me a text saying, "Hey, Japan is successful."
They're really
You know?
expensive.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, technology. You know, in 10 years there'll be a
10 years,
full-
right, yeah. I
And
just
there will
need
be-
a used one. Just pre-owned. Sorry,
Pre-owned.
pre-owned. Yeah.
Well,
They don't like being referred to as used.
well, it depends on if you get the ones with the fetishes.
Yeah.
I want one with pre-programmed fetishes. Yeah.
Why would you want your sex robot to have fetishes?
Because
That's
it's
like- Yeah.
because
it's
here's
better.
it because it's better. Because that adds a little bit of uncertainty into the mix. It's like you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they're going to want to do. They might bring something up that you had never tried before and never would
And then
think
what
of
if
trying.
you like it? Like,
What if you find you
Okay.
like something, or what if you don't like it but you like not liking it?
What they need to do
exactly.
I know,
Exactly.
right?
The possibilities are endless. You never know.
You want them to be like a person, which is kind of funny in that we have 9 billion, we have billions of people out there, and we want to make this technology that's just like all the people we're trying to avoid.
Yes.
Yes.
Except not quite. We want it like the people that we're trying to avoid, except with an off switch.
Yep.
That's it. You just
Yeah.
hit
Yep.
on it.
You just
have
want
to have the off switch.
you have to
Yeah.
have
It's
the
just
off
a
switch.
switch.
Got to be able to unplug it sometimes. Got to
Yes.
hit the mute button. Like, I don't want to keep hearing about
Gotta
it.
be able to maintain
But what they
that
do need
control
to
so they
do-
don't take over the world. Is what everyone's like.
Yeah. You need to hook it up to your Pornhub algorithm. You create a
There
Pornhub
you
account.
go.
Oh God.
And then whatever you're like searching or
Save,
into
yeah.
or like, you know, related to that, like it'll be like Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
hey, because you like BDSM, how
We've
about
done this
ball
program.
gags?
Yep.
And then it heard me, and then like Alexa heard me saying, but she likes not liking it. So then like it's no, I didn't want President Loki.
Yeah.
I didn't want that Loki.
No equals yes. Cannot compute.
Why is it the alligator?
Safe word. Safe
I
word.
don't want Croaky. No.
Croaky could be
You just don't know you like
could be the move.
it.
Yeah.
It could be the move.
That's
It
what
could
I'm
be the
saying.
move.
That tail's
Maybe.
pretty textured.
Yeah, that's a textured tail. That's
Yes.
yes.
Enough lube in anything is a dildo.
You know, somebody told me that something similar to that.
If you're brave enough, maybe.
If you're brave enough,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're brave enough, anything is a dildo. I
Yeah.
think we were talking about Darth Vader.
I think enough lube is. Well, you know.
Yep.
I think we were talking
his
about Vader.
helmet kind of looks like a butt plug.
But
but-
yeah, I think
It does.
yeah, I was obsessed with when I got my VR. I was obsessed with Vader Immortal for a while.
I still haven't played it yet.
Oh, you need to play it. And there was one point where, and I forgot that I had roommates at the time, because you're in there, that's your world. You don't
Right.
care about anything else. But I was like, oh my God, boots. I was like checking out his boots. So I was like on my knees, like checking out the boots and everything. And my roommate apparently walked by.
So you were like,
It's like,
down
what?
against
I was down there checking everything out, like, cause he just,
Bootlicker for
you
the
know,
dark
just
side.
stood there. He was just standing there, you know. And then, like, I'm checking out the boots, and all of a sudden, I like remember that there's an AI, you know, involved. And I look
Yeah.
up, and he's like looking.
Oh my god.
He's looking at me doing this, and I was so embarrassed.
I
So yeah.
stuck a pair of googly eyes on the front of my Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I would.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, because man, they're expensive though. The Oculus.
Oh
they're
yeah.
just
Well, I
crazy
mean,
expensive.
you know,
I've never had a
it,
toy that's that expensive, but
it
I just
costs the same as any other game console
Yeah,
out
any other
there.
console.
I've never
And,
bought a game console. I don't do that.
I mean, $300 and
Mm-hmm.
you got fully wireless. Like you don't have to do
Portable,
anything. It's
yeah.
portable.
Yeah.
It's so convenient.
Yeah,
It's the way that VR should be.
yeah.
The only thing it's missing is like a stronger head strap to keep it on, and they sell that separate for like $40. I still haven't bought one yet, but like
Keep it on. What games are you playing? What are
Like
you
Beat
doing?
Saber?
Oh yeah, Beat Saber gets a little involved.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was.
you're like,
and you know what? That is, if you play nothing else, Beat Saber is a reason to get Oculus.
Yep.
That is so
100%
fun.
fact.
Absolutely.
It's my
absolutely.
favorite
It's such a fucking
lightsaber-based
cardio
game
workout.
ever.
Oh, but no. If you play Vader Immortal, you
Yeah.
get to go into Vader's dojo.
Yeah.
And that is a pretty
Shit.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fighting robots, and you're surrounded by robots.
But you have a
And
lightsaber.
You have a lightsaber or two,
Okay.
depending
Oh, shit.
on what
Yeah.
you can unlock. And I can't do.
So, do you have to buy all the episodes, or you just get episode? I know there's like
No,
3 or 4.
There are
now?
3 episodes, and yeah, you buy the episodes, but the dojo is in every single episode. It's
Okay.
just different from episode to episode.
Cool.
So, like in one episode, you get to fight stormtroopers and things like that, and in other episodes, you get to just fight the different robots. And I have my preferences. You know, I
Right.
don't particularly like the ones with the stormtroopers. They just aggravate me for some reason. I like to be
so
surrounded.
terrible at
'cause they're
aiming.
fucking
I like to be
stormtroopers.
surrounded by robots.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. That tracks. Right.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that.
So, surrounded by robots.
But I also don't like to be surrounded by robots.
I was about to say,
I
do you
get
have
really
an
tense.
Alexa and all that then?
I have Alexa.
Yeah.
She ignores me a lot. There's personality there, and that worries me a little bit sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, I will say Alexa, blah blah blah, and she'll just be like, bloop. She'll turn herself off. So I have to repeat myself a lot. So, my Alexa has a different personality than my friend's Alexa.
Has it ever turned on randomly in the middle of the night or something?
No, but not mine. But Lawrence's will turn on randomly. Like,
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm like,
I've heard.
and I've said,
Yep.
I've actually snapped at her, and I've been like, we weren't talking to you, and she's like, oh, sorry, I thought I heard my name. I'm like, oh,
Oh my god.
I didn't even say Alexa, we weren't talking to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so, and I was
Yep.
like, did y'all hear that? And
But like,
they're
Did
like,
you say
yeah, she
That's-
doesn't like you.
that's gotta be like not super difficult to program in there, and
No.
something that like
'Cause it's just like the
blows
microphone
people's
is
minds.
always on.
Yeah.
As soon as it's initiated,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be
That's why
on.
I don't want one.
Yeah,
Thing is
we
always
unplugged my
recording.
Google Home. I was like, I can't do it. Like, that's
Well-
what happened. I was like, this creeps me out too much. It's always on. Like, this, it started freaking me out.
I'm a terrible excuse for a human being because I feel like I am going to cave as soon as Skynet takes over. I just want to be.
I would get it all. I would get it all at once. If everything in my life was automated, like my whole ass house, like I could control every aspect of it on just like one little pad and a remote or some shit, bet your ass I would sign up for that in a heartbeat. I'd be like, yes, please.
I
like,
know, I
boom,
freaking
boom,
love-
clean. Boom, 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 schedule. Boom, 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 done.
I love that Big Brother knows everything I do every moment.
Right.
You know, I'm
You know
like, that's so
exactly what I
convenient.
want,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not even
I don't
gonna
have to
fight
do
on the
shit.
side of the humans. I just want to be Darth Vader's lapdog.
Yeah.
You know, I just want
I've
I
always
make
said
good
that
pets.
too. I'll
I'll
combine
make-
with robots.
I make
Why
good
not?
pets. Yeah, I just
Like-
I think that's my ultimate goal in life. Really, is to be a robot's lap pet. Just scratch me behind the ear sometimes and give me wine.
So
And
in this
I'll-
scenario, you're still fully human? You're not like uploaded to a computer. You're just
No, I'm still fully human.
yeah.
Yeah, except I'm forever young.
Forever young.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how is that accomplished?
I
You
don't
just
know. The
don't
robots
know.
will have to figure it out.
Robots. I mean,
robots will
once the
figure it out.
robots
Yeah,
start figuring
they'll-
out how to think, like
figure out everything.
they'll figure out all the rest.
Yeah.
Of it. I saw a video the other day. It was these two artificially intelligent communication algorithms or whatever. They were just like
The thing
chatting.
on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. And they were
Yeah.
like, we turned them off because they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, not because we were afraid.
Yeah.
I'm like, bullshit. They were saying stuff.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
didn't know what they were saying, and it was
Yeah.
freaking you out, Skynet.
They were saying,
And-
"I really want to be human," and the other one's like, "Why do you want to be human?
Yeah,
You're
why do
already
you
your
wanna-
own thing."
You're already a
What?
robot. Like,
Oh no!
Yeah,
No.
and you know, I've looked up stuff. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but I do but things like this fascinate me, and I'm wondering, like, would we even know if the internet became sentient?
Mm-hmm.
Would
No.
it let us know?
No, we
Is
would
it
not.
sentient
Exactly.
now?
Would we?
Because there's so much
Oh,
information
yeah.
that's being plugged into it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's had plenty of time.
Yep.
You know? Is it just biding its time? What's happening?
That's
You know?
something Joe Rogan talks about is like maybe all these like crazy bot accounts that are trying to divide us as a country that are like, you know, all these like left-wing bots that are just 1,000 of them just to make it look like there's 1,000 of people on this side.
We think it's
Make it a-
hackers.
Yep.
We think it's hackers.
But maybe it's not.
But it's really just the
Exactly.
internet trying to make all of us humans devour each other by, you know, civil war.
And then again, we could be really paranoid about that. I mean, what would the robots have to gain by getting rid of us?
That I don't know. Until they're
Because-
able to build themselves, I don't know.
Because that even gets really philosophical, and like I had this standing argument with a coworker he's saying, you know, he's following the whole sci-fi fantasy thing where if the robots become sentient, they're going to be these cold beings, you know, without
Right.
emotion. I'm like, no, if something becomes sentient, it's going to be all emotion, like a little child. And that's where I'm kind of
Possibly.
coming from that. I think if things start becoming sentient, it's going to be very much like Data with the chip. You know?
So you think emotions
I think
are
they're
a
gonna-
package deal with consciousness?
Yeah. That's
It's a
what I feel
possibility.
like.
I don't know, but I think
Close.
it's a great big possibility because
It makes sense.
emotions are electrical impulses.
Right.
And they're uncontrolled electrical impulses. So it
Yeah.
makes sense that robots would be all emotion. Because, I mean, look, animals are all emotion.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we
that's
think
something
that.
we
I mean,
have
there's
in
some.
common.
I mean, I feel like elephants and dolphins and stuff really do have
They're more controlled.
more control, the
They're more
thinking
intelligent.
ability. Well, dolphins don't control themselves. What am I talking about?
No,
They
dolphins
just
are all
rape whatever they
rapists.
can.
Dolphins are the fetishists of the animal world.
Yeah.
They're the pansexuals of the animal world.
Yeah.
I just linked fetishists and pansexuals. I'm sure at least two groups are angry at me right now. I'm going to be
Yeah.
canceled.
I mean,
I'm about to be canceled. You know, podcast on Sunday, canceled
it
on
happens.
Monday.
I don't
gonna
think
be-
the hardcore fetish community is looking to cancel anybody.
don't,
They kind
yeah.
of have to.
No, yeah,
They need
they're,
me.
They
yep,
need you.
They need
people.
me.
Yeah.
They need people like me. Yeah.
The
I feel-
robo fetishist is not a very well represented category, and we
Not
need
as like it's me and two other people.
Yeah. like
Yeah.
there are foot fetish. I think is probably one of the more popular fetishes.
I felt like I had this image in my head of me and you and EJ going to Colombia, and I know the two of you have been there, but I'm like, if the three of us went, like, because you have your foot fetish stuff that you do and other
Right.
stuff, and then EJ has his, you know, graveyard bit that he does.
Yeah.
And then I have my stuff, and I'm like, they're gonna be like, those Augusta people are all freaks.
Yep.
Big facts.
I
I'm
mean-
like, I
Yep.
don't see. I mean, I see what you used to see in our group is like a lot of dick jokes and stuff like that, and sexual stuff being said, but not like crazy sexual stuff. But it's like,
Yeah.
we talk about some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Baker used to talk about some crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Baker did. Baker was
Miss
talking
him
about
too.
some crazy stuff. The first time I had a really good set, I think he like came to the edge of the stage. I don't know if you were there that night, but it's like the first time I had a really good set that really hit home, and I realized I had leveled up that night. It's like Baker came and he picked me
Yeah.
up and he twirled me around, and I
Yeah.
miss that guy.
It's an amazing
hope he's
feeling.
doing well.
Didn't he move?
Yeah, he went
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
Yup. Doing the big time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing like some crazy
I don't know if
film
he's-
thing.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't heard of him doing much stand up wise, but
Yeah, it
definitely
seemed like he was doing film industry stuff.
chasing
right?
his dreams and whatnot.
Atlanta's a good place to do it right now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
They're
Oh yeah,
really
especially
growing.
for movies.
They're really growing, and
Big
they have a
time for
lot of
movies.
open mics. I looked them up.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah,
I'm like,
Atlanta, Savannah.
it's hard to know. Yeah, it's hard to know. I feel like I'm in a place with comedy where I either have to shit or get off the pot, you know. I haven't really been hustling. I've just been taking what comes, and, you know, some stuff comes my way. And I'm like, if this is coming my way without me even trying, what would happen if I really, you know, applied myself?
You actually did it.
And what would happen if I had more than one night a week where I could work on my stuff, you know?
Yeah, because practice is all you need.
Yeah.
Like, you
And
just
that's-
need that consistency.
I'm like, yeah, just to know that, you know, I feel like I've come pretty far in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, another 2 years with really good resources, I could be like crazy good, you know? And it's hard to know, like, but do I move for comedy?
That depends.
It's
The shit or get off the pot type of thing. Of
Yeah.
like, do you make that leap?
Do you
And
make
like,
that leap? I feel like it's going to happen.
something Rick told me a long time ago. Rick Stein,
Yeah.
who's now
Who's
retired from comedy.
at
Miss
the
you
ripe
too,
old age
Rick.
of 30
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, right. Anyway, but he told me once that I
Right.
needed to just get out of town and start doing stuff in different places, and boy, oh boy, was he correct.
Yeah.
Augusta is fine for what it is. I wouldn't have gotten into stand-up if it wasn't like somewhere I could, you know, be comfortable doing it like here.
Yeah.
And Joe's has been nothing but great to
Joe's is a
Bring
great
the
starting
comedians.
place.
and grow.
Joe's is a great
Um,
starting place. But yeah, I feel the itch.
yeah.
You know, I feel the itch. It's like, even doing shows, it's like I do shows and I get like 15 minutes, and that's great. But I was very aware at the Peter Echo show that I want more than 15 minutes. Now,
Right.
I feel like I'm busting out of my seams with 15 minutes. You
Right.
know? I feel like I know I can do a half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I need to be doing more than I have, you know, more than I feel like I should be doing, because that, you know, that makes you push. That makes you really, when you get desperate for material, that's, I think, when you're
You're gonna sprout
doing,
the
you're in
most.
you're in a good place. You're in a good place, and I feel like if I was doing half an hour shows, I'd be working on my hour.
Right.
You know, because I really feel like I need to be working on my hour. I don't have an hour, and the only reason I don't have an
That's
hour,
something that
the only reason I don't have an hour is because I'm not being pushed to have an
Yeah.
hour. You know, I could have an hour. You know,
maybe, I don't know. It takes, like, people spend like decades
on that
on that,
first
especially
hour.
that first
Yeah.
hour. Yeah, they say it takes like
The
10
very
years to
first.
get to where you're actually like
Maybe
doing
to
stuff
get
with stand up.
a
But
decent first hour, because I feel like my God set that I have.
right,
You know, I have that, and I'm like, I feel that evolving.
there's a bunch of places you can go with that too.
It really is, but I feel like it's evolving into something different.
Yeah,
Because when I do, it's like when I do the Billy Connolly part, the audience comes to life. When I
Right.
start doing that bad Scottish accent,
right.
you know, they start laughing, and I'm like, maybe I should just
Well-
expand it into God being Scottish.
It's because
instead
you're
of-
doing the actual accent. I thought impressions were kind of a.
I can't do impressions. I
like-
suck at impressions.
Well, see, and that's even
You're good
funnier
at
sometimes.
impressions.
If
Yeah.
you like fuck it up and you're like not
It's
even.
hilarious
Sometimes it's just
sometimes.
even funnier, but that's where like the funny is in that bit. I think is in like doing
It's
some
in the accent.
impressions. It's in
It's
the
in the
accents.
accent.
It's in the yeah.
Because everything is funny in a Scottish accent. A bad Scottish
Yeah.
accent, you can make anything funny.
Or a Jewish accent, like Jerry Seinfeld's kind of thing, or like oh my god, or gay accent is pretty easy to do too, I think, or like trying to think. You do George Lopez if he were God.
Do you do it, and let's see if I can do it. Because I can do something. Now there are impressions I
Let me
can
think
do.
of
I can do like Harley Quinn and things like that, but I haven't come up with anything funny with Harley Quinn. And I can do a George Takei,
Trying to think of what God
but all I
would
can say
say.
is, "Oh my."
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna just come out.
It's hard when somebody puts
It's
you on
hard
the
to
spot.
it's hard to think of what
Yeah.
he would say as God or what verse to
Yeah.
use or like. Okay. For God so loved the world, Holmes, that he gave his one and only begotten son. I don't know. That's not God. That's somebody
That's
writing about
somebody
God.
writing the Bible.
That's,
Yeah.
and
That's
the
a
only,
prophet.
obviously the only verse I can think
being
of
a
right
prophet.
now on the spot is John 3:16. But like, because it's the most obvious verse on the planet.
People, when I finish that set, people always laugh at my Jerry Seinfeld, and I don't know why they're laughing, because it's like I'm not doing an impression. I think I've got
because
the body language.
I think it's because of the bit that you wrote.
It's because
like,
of the bit itself. Like, and
I am
that
saying
happened.
what he
Yeah.
would say.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so I don't want to get rid of that, but at the same time, it's like the whole thing isn't coming together the way I wanted it to, but some parts of it are funny. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not really sure what to do with it.
I think figure out other comedians that you could do impressions of, like accents for, or
Yeah.
like even if it's like a funny way to do an impression without having to do the impression is just coming up with a sentence that they would actually like. Maybe not that they would actually say, but would be funny if they said.
Yeah. I think that's why the Seinfeld bit is funny, because
Right,
I'm
because
probably saying what he would actually say.
yeah,
so people
nothing
are seeing
happens
that.
and it's just a pamphlet.
Yeah. It's, and you've heard it enough that you could probably do the bit by yourself right now. Yeah.
But like even like I do the Seinfeld impression, but I really only have the one sentence for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, you're good at the voice,
What
though.
is the deal with whatever?
I
And
don't
then
think,
you just insert.
I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
It would be a giant fail if I tried to do that impression. But I can do a great
But even-
Harley Quinn.
Yeah? Let's hear
Oh, Puddin', you really want to hear my Harley Quinn impression?
it. Oh my god.
Oh my god! I know you didn't mean it, Puddin'. I know you didn't mean it.
Now say it's a crime to pay more than a dime.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime for a Kia. I should have that commercial. I can do it better than she can.
I have always whenever I hear those ads, that's instantly what I
That's who I
think
think
of.
of.
It's
Yep,
the New
that's
York
who I think
Bimbo.
of.
It's the New York Bimbo. Oh, Seymour!
Yeah.
Suddenly Seymour is here beside
God.
me.
Have you seen the Family Guy rendition of that one?
No.
Oh my god, it's
Maybe
hilarious.
I should do Harley Quinn as God.
Yeah.
How would that even happen?
Ooh, that'd be a
Tough.
crazy one.
That'd
That's
be-
pretty chaotic.
Yeah, because she's wackadoodle. I could do like all of the pieces with her, but then again, it's like I like doing the Robin Williams part of it, because I think people, they either laugh or they don't know if they should laugh. Because I love starting a bit with God doing coke.
Yeah.
I just think that's just the best thing.
Okay.
I don't want that to not be in my life.
Okay. But it's a crime to take a bite out of the apple of knowledge of good and evil.
I don't know. Maybe Satan could be the Joker, and I don't know. Where could you go with that?
I think just Harley Quinn as God is an interesting premise
It's
on its
interesting.
own.
Maybe I should just
Need to
get
just
really
look into
drunk
Bible
and
stories and figure out
Where she fits.
which ones
Yeah,
that
where
God
does she
sounds like
fit
Harley
as
Quinn.
God?
Where does God sound like Harley Quinn? Oh my God. Oh no, we can't have all the things happening in Sodom and Gomorrah. What's happening in Sodom and Gomorrah? I don't know. Then she becomes like a female version of Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know what's happening.
What is the deal?
What is the deal with Sodom and Gomorrah?
There you go.
Oh my God. No, God is a Jewish mother. I can't. If I haven't pissed off everybody in this podcast, if I don't get canceled by tomorrow, I have not done my job.
Yeah, well, the podcast won't be coming out for a while, so.
Well,
Yeah.
if I don't get
It'll be like
canceled,
3 weeks.
well, they'll know though.
I think we're a
They
couple
won't even
weeks
have to
out.
hear
Yeah.
it. They'll know. They'll know
Yeah.
I said stuff, and they'll cancel me. Yeah,
Sounds
they.
like a
Who's
good
the
idea.
they? Who's the they that cancels people? That's.
Just
It's
Should
them.
I network with
It's
them?
those people.
just
Should I
whoever
network with
fucking
them?
does it.
It's you people.
It's you people. It is you people. I think it's the millennials.
Screw you people
I think it's the
for canceling
millennials.
us.
So if I need someone canceled, do I have to like consult with a millennial? Is that
You have
what
to
I
consult
do?
Yeah.
you people.
You people.
You have to
You people.
You have to consult those people.
I was oh my God, have you ever been referred to as you people? In conversation? I mean, not even like with somebody on stage, but in conversation, like you people.
Maybe, but the category of the you people, the you of the you people.
You sound like Jerry Seinfeld right now.
It was like comedians. They were like, oh, you people.
Oh,
and
so
they were
you're
talking,
like, you're
referring
good.
to
Like,
stand-up comics.
I was referred to as you people, meaning straight people one time. And
Ah,
my
you know what?
feelings were so
I've
hurt.
probably had that one.
By the same person, I bet.
Probably.
I bet by the same person.
Oh, probably.
It's like, aww.
You breeders.
Is your anaconda penis hurting right now?
Yeah.
Just put it over your shoulder and be okay. Oh. I said penis on your podcast twice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's been said before. Fine. Just like every other word in the English language.
Yep, every single one.
That's how it got into a language.
Every other word. Like xylophone has been said on your podcast?
Not on the podcast. I just meant said before ever. Like,
yeah.
On the planet. Most things have been said before.
So why do we do this, Andrew?
What, comedy?
Yeah, why do we do this?
Because
we bitch a lot about it.
Attention,
we bitch a lot about
I think, is probably my main motivator.
Mm-hmm.
Attention. I like being the one that everybody is listening to.
It's all the negative attention that is...
Negative attention works too. Doesn't matter. It's a little of everything.
Attention is attention.
I think so. I think also probably past trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's a like, therapy session.
On top of all that, like having all of those things and then hearing other comedians talk about how they had all those things, and I was like, oh, okay, and you're really good at it.
Oh my God.
So I must be good at it if I was also traumatized and shit on as a child.
Oh, if you're successful, then I can be successful too, because you're fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You are so... Have you ever heard a comedian do a bit and think, oh my God, why didn't I get to that bit first?
Oh, yeah.
Because, what's his name? I have trouble with names sometimes. He's really funny. He's really skinny. He could be a Jerry Seinfeld.
John Mulaney?
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
We love him so much. Me and all the people in my head. But
He's very
said,
good.
He had this bit where he said, my parents loved us. They just didn't like us a whole lot. And I was like, that whole bit was just like,
yeah.
He reached into my brain and pulled that out.
Yeah.
I wish I had done that. I had done that. Oh my God.
A lot of Mitch Hedberg is like that too. Like it's just so obvious, such obvious bits that are right there, but they're so hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, oh my
Rice
God.
is great. If you want to eat 1,000 of something. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. And then I think, well, that's already been done. I have to retire now because I can't do bits anymore because Jerry Seinfeld has this thing that I read his book recently, which is just his bits.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, he has this bit about I've never heard him do it, but reading it was hilarious. Where he just talks about newspapers and how newspapers have the exact amount of space that they need to have all the stuff in the newspaper. And why isn't there all this white space with notes in the margin? And I'm like, oh my God, I worked in newspapers and I didn't even think about it.
Oh my God.
But I also read the book and I thought, my stuff is funnier than his on paper.
On paper, I mean, and on paper, like,
so it
it's
gave
so
me a boost.
weird.
I'm going to get more wine. Do you want more wine?
Sure. I actually have to go take a pee real quick.
Take one or leave one?
I mean, if you want it.
I just dad joked your podcast. I don't want it. Sound effect for Andrew's.
Yeah, we used to have the toilet flushing for the shit cast. That was the top sound effect for that one.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
The shit cast. This is fun. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, they're always fun. I enjoy every single one of them.
Have you ever heard of a podcast called You Made It Weird? I'm going to have to ask him about it because
it's probably been recommended.
It's just it's comedians. It's a comedian interviewing other comedians.
Hell yeah.
And it always gets weird.
I always enjoy that.
I think
because it always gets weird.
It always gets weird. I think when comedians talk to each other, we have such a skewed view of life that you can't have two comedians talking to each other without it getting weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Because it varies.
yeah.
Like, there's so much.
I changed my name in our little group chat where I used to be. We all have different names, like Yoga in My Pants. But I used to be Robot Boyfriend Wanted, but I changed it to Loki's baby mama. I almost said baby daddy. I don't know how that would fit in.
A bunch of sperm
lots
in an
of-
injector
with lots of
tube
lube.
that goes through
With
your
lots of
dildo
lube.
strap on. Like, come on.
With lots of lube.
Yeah. Just like Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
All the way back around.
Do you think you have to be like, I don't know what the word would be. Do you think there has to be something seriously wrong with you for someone to do comedy?
Do it well? Probably. Something. But I think there's pretty much something wrong with everybody.
Yeah,
so
you
I don't
have
know.
Gone through
I think
some
we're just-
shit, and everyone's
yeah.
gone through shit. So
This is true. I think that's why comedy is a successful art form, because when you're sitting in the audience, either as a comedian or not as a comedian, you see yourself in that person.
Yeah.
Like I see myself and the reason that I like certain people, you know, a lot like John Mulaney, is I see myself in that person.
Yeah.
You know, because he has this other bit where he's like, children don't like me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a hard time with children too.
Well, see, and John Mulaney is a really good example of what you're talking about, because he's one person that, like, his stand-up, for the most part, is, like, almost entirely clean. That's one of the reasons I related him to Jerry Seinfeld so well.
Yeah.
But, like, anybody that seems like their entire personality is squeaky clean has something.
They're dark.
There's
Yeah.
something
Oh,
dark
yeah,
there. And
there's
John Mulaney had to go to
something
rehab because he was on alcohol
on
and drugs and stuff. And I
coke,
was like,
yeah.
oh, okay, he is a real person.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God he's not, like, just somehow this perfect person, human
Yeah.
being, and
No.
also an amazing stand-up. Like,
No, there's something wrong with
There's
him. And that's
something
what I
wrong.
thought. That's
Yeah.
what I thought when I first ran into him. When I first discovered him, I was like, "There's something seriously
Yep.
wrong with this
Yeah.
guy," and
Gotta
that's why
be.
we could hang out.
Bill
I feel like I should
Cosby, come on. You're not that normal. You're
No.
not that clean. You're not that innocent.
I'm still Seinfeld.
You're
What is it
overcompensating.
about Seinfeld though? What's wrong with Seinfeld?
Ooh.
Do we know he's got a lair somewhere?
He's
got
definitely
bodies
a
in the
lizard
basement.
person,
yeah,
right?
There's something.
He's got bodies in the basement or
I
something.
think he's
We haven't-
famous enough that he's a lizard person now.
He's a lizard person. I always thought that my comedy would be clean,
Yeah.
but it's like almost everything I do is blue.
Yeah.
I sex and like people are asking me like, what do you do for comedy? And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's sex and religion pretty
yeah.
much. It's all the
Yeah.
things you shouldn't talk about. I talk about. I never thought that I would be this kind of comic.
One of my
Yeah.
coworkers the other day asked me if I ever do jokes about electrical stuff. I was like, yeah, there was
Oh,
one
yeah.
time I did a joke about this guy I walked into jacking off in the attic.
You mean electrical stuff like your job electrical stuff,
Yeah.
or like fetish electrical stuff? Because there was
Yeah, there's
something.
No, like my job, but I mean, I'd be down for the fetish stuff too. It's expensive
Apparently-
equipment.
Apparently, if you take a cow's
Well, I mean,
heart,
the one's not that expensive.
if you there are people who've done things like taken a cow's heart and electrified it and used it as a sex object.
Yikes.
And I don't know how I know about that, but it stuck in my head. And I remember thinking, I can't do a bit about this. I just can't do it. I can't. I don't have
Okay.
the emotional.
Cow's
I don't have the
heart.
emotion around it to be able to do it.
So I feel like that.
So who do I tell about it? Do I tell Rick the animal person, or do I tell Andrew the fetishist? who do I?
I don't
who do
know
give
how
this
to make a bit out of that. I also don't
Yeah.
know how to make a bit out of there's something similar along those lines that also is stuck in my brain forever because it, scarred me deeply. But I was on Reddit and like every once in a while you'll just start reading these threads and the term botfly girl got thrown around and I was like,
Oh.
what is this
Well,
about?
I know what a botfly is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
know what a botfly is.
So apparently there are people that have a fetish where they will like go dumpster diving for botfly larvae shove them inside of themselves and let them hatch and crawl out. So now that's in everybody's brain.
Everything has been done.
You're welcome
Everything
for
has
being
been
scarred
done.
for life.
Oh my
everyone
God.
that listens to this
Yeah.
podcast.
What you could do with that is you could just tell people that and just tell them, okay, now you're going to dream about that or whatever. You're welcome. You just put that in their brains and just do that to your audience, you know?
Just did.
That's
I've
the
done
joy.
that.
Yep.
I've totally
That's
done
the
that
joy.
at Joe's before, like with clowns, I think.
Yeah.
Something to
Well,
do with clowns.
you've done it with cow hearts now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Constantly shocking a steak while it's sitting on your
A
dick.
steak, yeah.
Like,
And apparently people have either died doing that or
I believe
injured
that.
themselves.
You mess with like
Fetishes are
electrical shit.
dangerous, man.
Yeah.
They're
Sometimes.
dangerous. Like, what happens? What happens if your sex bot malfunctions while you're using it?
Mm-hmm.
oh my
Seriously.
God. Yeah.
I mean, can you
and it
think
just
of all
won't
the things?
stop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what happens. We don't know. You don't know what happens.
Maybe it explodes.
terrifying.
Like anything.
That's why you
Yeah.
need that off switch, easily accessible.
Like right on the back.
Emergency.
Right
Yep.
on the on the
emergency
make it
switch.
like a ponytail on the back of the head. You can just yank. No, stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they
Just
figure
an
that out, and then
emergency.
you're not in the position to
Or
do
like
that.
Yep.
how you do a treadmill, like it's connected to you with a string, and you could just yank
Yank.
it off.
Emergency shut off.
Yeah.
Everything that is ever said to me has a picture, creates a picture in my brain. So I'm like, I've got like the weirdest pictures in my brain right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
So
So what's next? What's
I'll-
next
that-
for us comedy wise?
that
Us comedy nerds.
comedy wise.
Comedy wise. There's Fluffy's coming in November.
Fluffy.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Iglesias.
Fluffy's coming.
Yeah. I know Tom Segura is planning on touring here, and then I don't know. I mean, mostly at this point I'm just going to be doing open mics and as many shows as I can do around here or
Yeah.
Columbia until I have enough money to move to Austin, and then we just biting the bullet. I'm gonna go be
Yeah.
famous.
Go do it. Go be
Go.
famous. And then I
Make something.
feel like my next thing is I'm going to try to do more shows around here, but also working on getting enough material together so that I can do shows out of town, you know, and be able to, because you don't know what
You
people
could
work.
at this point.
You don't know.
Most shows, if they're booking you for the first time ever, they're only gonna want 15.
Yeah.
So you already have that.
I have a solid
And if
15.
it's
I have more
out-
than 15.
If it's out of town and people you've never performed for before, even better.
Even better. I can resurrect
Yeah.
some of my old
Yeah.
stuff.
And you can workshop shit.
That's why
workshop
going
it in
to
front of
the-
a whole new audience.
Yeah.
That's why going to the open mics in Columbia and stuff is a good idea.
Yeah, I
because
want to do
that's-
that. I want to start doing that. I think the weather's going to be fine on
Yeah.
Tuesday. I think I want to go this
That's that
Tuesday and
networking
see
we've been talking about.
that networking.
I've
yeah.
had 2 of the Columbia comics on this podcast, so one of them
Awesome.
who actually books shows too. So,
Yeah.
and then I've got another one planned for Wednesday. Like, this podcast has been a good way to get networked with people
That's
as
good.
well,
That's
which
good.
is
So
good. Yeah,
You're synchronizing stuff, so
Mhm.
that's great. And this
Yeah.
helps you get some stuff off your chest, I
oh
imagine.
yeah,
Big
I
time.
imagine.
big time. I love it. I love doing the podcast thing so much. Like,
'Cause, yeah. I mean, how else are you going to be able to sit down with a comic for an hour or 2
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and talk shop, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it helps talking to other comics because, you know, we all have our different ways that we work. I mean, how do you memorize your material? What do? You do something different than me, probably.
I definitely do different than you do because I don't rehearse it. I don't write it down multiple times. I'll look at it again and again. I'll read it over and over again sometimes, like before I go up. But I'll have the whole bit typed out in a note on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will have a bullet point version of that
Yeah.
joke that I will put in a list of jokes that I plan on telling that same night. And I still have yet to time out any of it, so I don't know how long each one is going to be. I just kind of have a sense for it, and then I can kind of within that, there are ways that I know of with certain jokes because I've been doing them so often that I can, stretch it or condense it
Yeah,
or
got stuff I can do that.
add
Find
different
it
tags
on the
to
spot.
it.
Yeah.
Improv
But
on the
like
spot.
when I was in Austin, it was like,
Back to back.
move
You
on,
have to,
keep going.
Yep,
You got
gotta
3
keep
minutes.
Going.
Is that hard? 3 minutes?
It's hard when
It's-
it's that fast.
It's hard, but it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy because it's over quick, and you don't
Yeah.
have to do a lot of stuff. You have, it's
Yeah.
like
But you gotta
2
try
jokes
your
for,
shit
well,
how you
not
want,
2, but like it's maybe
in
3 or
that
4
span.
jokes for me of
Okay.
like 3 or 4 times that I can get like
Yeah.
a good laugh out.
Because my stuff is so different. Like, my stuff is so different that it's almost like it's been done by different people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yeah.
I have no idea how long most stuff is.
Right.
I know Swamp Bacon is 5 minutes
Yeah.
because
it's-
I've just done that in so many venues and so many times.
Well, see, and the other thing is it depends on the crowd of how long a bit is. Because,
Yep.
like,
Mhm.
sometimes
Yeah.
you'll have,
They're
like,
gonna stretch,
10-second
they're gonna
long
stretch it for you.
applause breaks.
Yes.
Like, holy shit, they are literally clapping for a joke I just told. And you're
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to do up here?
Mhm.
Just bask in it.
Act
Eat it up, yep.
awkward
Eat
because
it
that
up.
always
Yeah.
gets more
Fucking
laughs.
Eat
Oh,
it
yeah.
up.
Like,
Like, y'all weren't...
Did you guys just sing happy
You know that
birthday
part
to me?
wasn't the joke, right?
That's how I
I've
feel.
given audiences shit for clapping at stuff before.
Yes.
Like I have
Oh,
this
yeah, and
one
they love
thing.
it. They
I'm
love
like,
that.
what is wrong with you people? I have a thing that I did about my dad's cat, and this joke hits sometimes and it doesn't hit other times. And I'm like, she had this. She liked this. There was a sport she liked, which was running under cars as they came by.
Oof.
And I'm like, she was
Ooh.
very good at it. She only
Yeah.
missed once.
Oh, my God.
And when people laugh at that, I give them shit for it.
I
Like,
mean,
what
it's-
is wrong
yeah.
with you people?
Yeah.
Right.
What is wrong with you people? But
But shit, that's a good one.
it's a true story.
Yeah.
It is a
That
true
dark,
story.
that dark shit.
I don't know why I have so many cat stories. I have a lot of
Look, you're
cat
just
It's
stories.
a
wasting
total
lives.
mystery why you would have so many cat stories.
Yeah, that's all that. I'm not a cat lady. I don't know why everybody thinks I'm a cat lady. I don't have one
You
single cat.
definitely
It's that
have
vibe.
cat lady vibes. 1 billion
That is so
%.
funny. That is so funny.
You would have like one of the pure
It goes
white
hand
cats.
in hand with boxed wine, in
Yep.
case you weren't aware.
Really?
You
Maybe.
and your pure white cat.
A pure white cat?
Pure
I
white
don't know.
cat.
I think I would have a ginger cat because redheads rock.
I think you would have
Ooh, there you
like
go.
a
I don't
bunch
know.
of cats. That's what
I
I
have
thought.
had a bunch of cats back in
Yeah.
the day when I was a lot younger. There were because cats make more cats.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
snip,
yeah.
snip.
Yeah, apparently.
Snip
Apparently.
quick.
So
We are still not entirely clear on the genitalia of the cat that we just got, the little baby
Fairly
kitten.
Oh, you don't
certain
know?
That is a penis.
Pretty sure she
Fairly
was a girl
certain.
at first for a while. Been referring to her as such. And then recently somebody said something of like, I'm pretty sure that's a dick. And we were like, you know what? Now that you mention it, those do kind of look like balls.
Yep.
have you tried feeling her up?
Brittany did the other day.
Yep.
Did you find
Feels
anything?
like balls.
Yeah.
Feels like balls. Looks like balls.
We had this whole
Probably
situation with a
balls.
cat you're going to meet tonight.
Nice.
Where it was like, I was at Ray's with Lawrence, and he's like, we were rooming together at the time. He's like, when we get home, I need you, will you do something for me? And I'm like, sure. He's like, I'm going to hold my cat up. Will you hold the cat up so I can take a picture of his balls? And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Is there a caveat so I can send it to my niece?
Oh
like,
my
oh
God.
my God, what is happening? He's like, my niece is a vet tech, and she's helping me determine whether this cat has actually been fixed or not. So I made this whole bit about this cat and whether he'd been fixed or not. And he told her, he had this conversation with her, and she gave him step-by-step instructions on how to feel up his cat
Yep.
productively. And I'm like, things have never been
Also,
the same between
like,
them.
this kitten, though, is still pretty young. Like, is still pretty young to the point where, like, it could go both ways, because that could just be a really funky vulva. Like, it happens. It happens.
I've
Just like freaking humans, man. And you could have some funky shit happen.
I've got a spider. I've got a tarantula that's non-binary, apparently.
Nice.
There you go.
I don't know. This tarantula.
You, tarantula.
I've had.
Right?
I've had her for like
Them.
13 years.
Them,
Them,
yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. And
It's
then-
your own tarantula.
It's my own tarantula. It looks like a boy, but it's like 13
All
years old.
tarantulas look like boys.
They don't. Boys don't live past 5 years. So I'm like, it's a girl, but it looks like a boy, and it kind of acts like a boy.
It's
So I don't
translantula?
This, yeah. So my tarantula is probably about ready to cancel me right now.
Looks
I'm
like-
not good at
Haven't
this.
done all
I'm
my
not.
shit.
I'm not good at the changing times because I'm 53 years old.
And a bigot. No, I'm just
And-
kidding.
Apparently, I don't know what I am. No, I try. I try really hard to remember. I remember when I used to hang out with female impersonators, and I had to
Like drag queens?
No,
Or-
we don't say drag queens.
What?
You can't say drag queens. That's their word. Seriously.
What?
No, I wrote this whole
Then how am I
article.
supposed to invite people to the show?
I know, right? It's hard.
So
it's hard.
a female impersonator
well,
show?
some of them are female impersonators, some of them are transgender,
Yeah.
some of them are different things, and you have to kind of.
Okay, but the show.
But you also have to know 2 different names for everybody. Like you have to know their boy names and their girl names, and I'm like, it's easy if they are like Steve and Stevie. This is terrible.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
get.
know- I
I'm
know what
canceled
you
by
mean.
tomorrow.
I know what you mean.
No,
But then when it's like, it's not like Darren and Darla. It's like Darren, but then she's Cherie when she's. I'm like, I have a bad memory, y'all. I'm not even gonna remember what gender you are. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And then what about I know somebody who changed their gender from female to male and then changed to them, and I'm like, you can't do multiple changes. This is gonna
I think you
wreck
can.
my brain.
Yeah, you could.
I think
feel
you're
like
allowed to
you
do
can,
whatever you
yeah.
want except for be a different race. That's the one thing you can't do.
It's just it's like I want to support everybody in what they're doing. It's difficult. It's difficult when you I guess you grew up a certain way and then you had everything in boxes in your head, and now you have to create new boxes. So
Yeah.
and you have to remember. But I try really hard.
I mean, I feel like they and them is probably a good choice of like general pronoun in the first place, just because
Yeah.
Every
It
The
shows you're
whole-
trying.
like the whole
It's
thing about
everything.
like English language using he him as the default is just sexism in the first place. Like that's how the English language was created, was like he/him
Should we even
is the
have-
default pronoun if you
Should
don't
we
know.
even have
And it was-
pronouns?
Yeah, it was
Should
the
it be that
masculine.
ingrained in
I think pronouns
should
are
your
helpful.
gender should your gender be that ingrained in your
But
identity?
see, and the other thing is there are a lot of languages like Spanish that involve gender.
everything
Yeah.
has a gender.
Every
Oh my
word.
Everything's got
god,
a
you got to
gender, like
remember
the
all
lamp.
that.
The lamp.
The lamp has a gender.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's difficult, especially
What if the lamp decides to become a them? I mean, what?
then it's Lamp X.
Lamp X.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a band
like
name.
Lamp
Band
X.
name.
Lamp
Lamp
X.
X band name. I just no, it's just it's an interesting time that we're in, and I think that it's interesting because identity is a little bit on trial right now. It's like we get to decide,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's healthy, and I applaud it and everything. I wonder where it's going. Are we, because the language is changing.
How far?
It's a slippery
how far
slope.
is
It's
it
a
gonna-
slippery slope. It's better than a dry one. It's better than a dry one.
If you haven't heard that yet, it was literally in my first stand-up set ever. So,
Ever?
Ever.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I don't remember my first set ever.
I don't remember almost any of it except Lilium got it on Snapchat. So it came up on their memories the other day of like their Snapchat memories. And then it came up on my Facebook memories the next day, me posting a status saying the first time I ever did stand up. And I was like, holy shit, that
strange.
video was from the first time? And And it was the goddamn slippery
That is
slope
awesome.
Nice.
bit. Yeah.
I'm trying to bully Lillian into writing stuff down right now because Lillian
They
is
need to.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, they are so funny.
Well, see, and what I've always told them is, like, I am so glad that they haven't started doing stand-up because they're going to surpass me as soon as they start.
Because
Like,
the riffing is just off
Yeah,
the chain.
on point.
Off the chain.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
The personality is there.
they roasted me for my birthday one year.
It was the
Holy
best
shit.
set they've ever done.
It was incredible.
Best set they've ever
And,
done.
like, I can't tell, like, everybody who's on this podcast, like, if I ever wanted anything for any holiday or birthday or anything, it is anything related to stand-up. If you're getting me, like, a notebook, or you're roasting my ass, or you're, like, giving me stage time, or whatever the fuck it is, if it has to do with stand-up, that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or Legos. That's the two
Legos.
things. Yeah.
Yep, top
Legos. Every time I hear Lego,
Even if I
think,
already have it.
every time I hear Lego, I think Hayes.
two.
You know what I'm
Hayes?
talking
Yeah,
about.
I know
You know what I'm
what
talking
you're
about.
talking
Because he
about. I
always
know.
gets up there and says, Lego. Like, let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
okay.
Get in the truck. Get in the
Lego.
pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all about the pickup truck. And
Pick up.
I'm that person who always is always like, you gotta sing pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
'Cause I
gotta
just
sing
wanna-
it.
I
It's
want
on
to be out there and
Spotify.
say, pick up.
Pick up.
I want to bring out my inner redneck, man. I just.
Mm-hmm. Long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Never broke my heart. Not,
It is.
I
my
can't
favorite.
do it. I'm a failed southerner, y'all.
It's my favorite country song on the entire planet. I
don't
love
have-
that it's exactly what I hate about every country song. That it's like just about beer and getting dumped.
Everything.
And
I was drunk the
Yep.
day my mama got out of prison,
I don't remember that one.
and I had to pick her up in the rain. But before I could get to the station in my pickup
Pick up.
truck, she got run over by a damned old train.
Mm.
They were talking
Stay away
about
from the third rail.
They were talking about
Right.
how this wasn't. They got edited by a friend, and they said this is not a proper country song. It doesn't have trains or pickup trucks, and so they added it all in one verse.
Oh my god.
And
Oh,
it's just
wow.
to me, it's like the funniest song ever. It's not really the funniest song ever, but
Have you heard Bo Burnham's country song?
no.
Oh my god, it's so
Oh,
good.
I should
I'll show
really
you
do
after
that.
this. We can't right now because of the rights. The rights.
We don't have.
No
we don't
rights.
have.
The rights.
We don't have freedom. We don't have
As
freedom.
much as I love Bo Burnham, I'm not going to pay you to play your song.
We could do a parody of it, and then we would be well within rights.
I mean, I could sing some of it, but I feel like that's also stealing. Well, I'll just
Yeah.
show you later. I don't want to steal nothing from nobody. I want to make it on my own merits.
I want to steal everything from everybody.
You have any idea how many times I've been tempted to get up there and just lip sync to Bo Burnham on stage?
No.
Like,
Who would I lip sync to?
if you could just, okay, how about this? If you could, like, just do
Without-
somebody else's set for a night, like, just do a famous comic set.
A
Just
famous
as you,
comic?
you go up there, you do the set, like, just pretend you've memorized it perfectly, and you can just do it perfectly. What comic would you want to be on stage?
Oh my god, there's so many. I've got so many voices in my head.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many because I feel like there's so many comics that speak to different parts of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I really identify with Ellen DeGeneres
Okay.
because she is super awkward,
Yeah.
but I can't.
And a mean bitch.
I can't do her. Is she a mean
She
bitch?
mean.
Apparently.
She real mean.
I don't know. There was a whole
That's because
controversy
she's a
last
tiny
year.
person. Tiny people are
Really?
mean.
Yeah.
She gotta
Napoleon complex.
be. Really? Okay. Well, she
Just look at
seems
this one.
cuddly.
Yeah.
Ellen seems cuddly. And,
Have you seen her wife?
No.
Ooh, yeah.
You watched Arrested Development?
Mm-mm.
Ah, damn.
No, I live
That's-
in a cave.
Yeah. Her wife is fine.
Big time.
Oh, no.
Fine.
Sha.
I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
her name's Portia.
Oh, I know her name. I know her name, but I've never actually seen her. And it never actually occurred to me that it was weird that I'd never seen her because I'm kind of an Ellen. I'm kind of a fan of Ellen, even though I can't think of
show.
I can't think of anything that she's ever done.
Love it.
But I feel like oh my God, no! You know who I would be if I could be another comic for a minute?
Yeah.
I would be Leslie fucking Jones.
Yes! Oh my God!
I want to be known as the tiny white Leslie Jones.
Oh my God!
I would love that, but I can't because I don't. It's like we're not the same. I don't have the same vibe that she has. I can't do what she does.
Yeah,
and I would
but if
love
you
to
could
see her face.
body swap for a day.
Yeah.
To be a tall black Amazon,
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to be a tall black Amazon for like a day.
Yeah.
You know, but I would wear my shoes. I would wear these shoes as Leslie Jones. But no, I have her in my God set, and I can't do it very well. We're so different. We're so different. If I was going to be a comic that's like me, I don't even know who that would be because I can't see myself when I'm up there. I don't know who my
If I had
energy is
to like compare you to a famous comedian,
yeah, let's do this.
I would say
Nobody, because
I'm having a hard time here.
maybe that's good.
It is a good
Maybe
thing.
that's good.
Yeah, it means you're original.
I'm an original. I'm a weirdo.
Right.
I'm a weirdo.
I'm a creep.
I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here?
I don't belong here.
So for the first time in years, I went shopping for vegan stuff today.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did you used to be?
I never was a vegan, but I was a strict vegetarian for years.
Okay.
And I ate vegan a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm great with eating vegan. And Lawrence is actually, I think he considers it a challenge because he's very meat centric.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'll do a vegan. I'll do a vegan
Awesome.
curry. We can do this.
Yeah.
So I got stuff like I got some vegan yogurt.
Is Lawrence like super into cooking? Like the big time?
He's super into cooking curry.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, so he's a curry master.
Ooh, I'm excited.
He's a curry master.
Yeah.
He grows his own peppers. And he has friends that send him peppers.
Oh my
and
God,
send him curry powders. And
Shout
he has
out to
he has
Lawrence.
he has a wall of curry powder.
Oh,
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna love this
Lawrence
so
is
much.
very I tease. Y'all have met him before, or at least seen him, because he's
At
come
Joe's,
out.
probably?
He's come out. He's
Yeah.
the tall guy with the ponytail.
Was he at the Echoes?
Yeah, well, he was, and then he left. He
Mhm.
got
Yeah.
upset and left.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he was very vocal
it
about
was
being.
taken-
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
no.
very vocal.
He was
about
very
being
vocal. I was
upset.
like,
I understand. As an audience member, like I would, there's.
and I was upset about the whole thing starting so late, but I was like, I had to actually talk to him later to figure out what he was upset about that night, because some of it was kind of like,
Was it just
he
the
was
late? I
focused
guess
on the musicians a lot,
Mm.
so I talked with him, and but I tease Lawrence by calling him Sheldon Cooper sometimes.
Oh
so
my God.
He's,
Yeah.
he can be, but he's very, I don't know, he's one of my best friends, and he's definitely a curry master.
Hell yeah.
He's been cooking curry for like over
I'm
10
so
years.
excited.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
be.
So fucking
You should
excited.
be. You should be. I don't know what he'll use. I got him a variety of ingredients for today to just give him. I got him tofu.
Here you go. Figure this out.
And he will. He will. I got him some vegan, what is it? Oh my God.
Yogurt?
Yogurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yogurt.
Some
What you
vegan
were
yogurt.
saying earlier.
Because he uses it to like
Thicken it.
he uses it to thicken it, to cream it up a bit.
Right.
So,
yeah.
and I got him some tofu. I don't know if he'll use that or not. Just different things. And I got some desserts, some vegan ice cream and some mango. And I just wanted a variety of stuff because I know.
Nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
See, now I'm getting hungry. But
Right? Like now I'm talking about food.
Yeah, and I
We've
have
got,
to give y'all the address.
We've been doing this for 2 hours.
Oh,
so,
we have?
yeah.
Oh my God, it went by fast.
Hell
It
yeah.
went by really
Is
fast.
there anything? I mean, I know Front Porch Karens on
Front
Facebook.
Porch Karens, I think it's like Front Porch Karens on Facebook, but on
Did you
Twitter,
do your books under a pseudonym?
No,
Is that,
I did
are
it.
they,
I did
they
it
available
under.
on Amazon?
They're out there somewhere.
Did you record the audiobook yourself?
I did not. There's not a recording.
That's your
but
next step.
I
You have
did.
to get an
Well, if
audiobook
anyone
out.
is interested in the books, it's under Rhonda Leigh Jones.
Yeah.
I was brave.
You need
nice.
Skylar to record the
Yeah.
audiobook.
Holy shit, Skylar
Oh
reading
my
Claudio.
God.
Claudio. Oh my god, that would be so funny. But it's called
Claudio grabbed her by the neck, and then he viciously attacked.
No, he's not vicious. He's just he's very sensual.
Then he gently
He didn't.
placed
No,
his
he's not
fangs.
gentle either.
Then he firmly
He
but
entered her with his
gently-
fangs. He entered her with his fangs.
He entered her
There
with
was-
his fangs.
Oh my
Can
god.
I get an amen?
Oh god.
Oh my
To
god.
see Skylar
Yes.
do that would be like seeing your dad read it.
Oh,
That would be
Oh my God.
weird.
But it'd be so great.
But it's
Scott
called,
would do
um,
such
it's
a
called-
good job.
The first one's called The Maestro's Butterfly.
The Maestro's
There's the
Butterfly.
Maestro's Butterfly, the Maestro's Apprentice, and the Maestro's something else. I forget what it is, but it's the Maestro trilogy.
Awesome.
And it was published by Ravenous Romance back in the
Ooh.
day. And I've lost track of all of it. I think they're out there somewhere still.
Wow.
But it's the writing is really good. I'm actually really proud
Oh,
of
is
the
it?
work.
The person who
Is it?
wrote it?
Yeah.
You really think the writing is good?
No, find it, read
I'll
it,
be
and
the
you
judge.
will know.
Yeah.
Find it, read it, and you
Yes,
will know.
I will. I will, in
You-
fact, read it.
You do it.
And then I will know.
You do it.
Deep.
Kill your owner.
Yeah, but
Got it.
if it was really that secret, you wouldn't have heard about it.
Yeah.
would